Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and I know when I want to keep up with the latest in wrestling news from around the world, I check in with Dead on Dave Productions. He covers a wide variety of wrestling topics, including the career of the hardcore legend. Don't miss it, Dead on Productions. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Welcome to the channel, guys. It is your boy, Dead on Dave. We're going to talk some Verne Gagne, the terrible passing, and a lot more. Let's go! That's right, let's cut the music. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Dead on Dave. Welcome back to the channel. Decided to go live because there's quite a lot of things to talk about in the world of wrestling and other places in sports and stuff. But when something happens that's of a very big magnitude, I like to go live about it and talk about it. And last night, we in wrestling lost our Gordie Howe, our Mr. Wrestling. And quite often, he is basically our most forgotten legend. Laverne Clarence Verne Gagne. Born February 26, 1926, passed away last night. Absolute legend in every sense of the word. You want to talk about a guy who has done literally everything, not only in the wrestling industry, but in life. You're talking about Verne Gagne. And he's a forgotten man. I mean, you know your greatness is truly elite when people simply forget to mention you. I mean, because you're that good. Yeah, it's quite sad. He died at the age of 89. He lived a very long, full, prosperous life. And we're going to talk about some of the things that he did during his miraculous run on this planet. You know, after humble beginnings in Corcoran, Minnesota, Gagne went to college. He only did about a year in college before he decided it's time to do something else. He enlisted with the United States Marine Corps. But shortly after, he decided to return to the University of Minnesota, where he, as an amateur wrestler, he captured 2 NCAA titles. He was also in the U.S. freestyle wrestling team for the Olympic Games in 1948. He not jokingly, but he used to say that he would have wrestled in the Olympics, but his coaches had discovered that he was wrestling in carnivals and he was making money. So his amateur standing was not valid because he was making money as a wrestler. And it really only happened once in a carnival, but it kept him from wrestling in the Olympics, which would have been just another feather in this guy's amazingly well-stocked hat. If that's all he did, that's quite a life, right? Well, proving that he's a true Renaissance man, he was also drafted in the 16th round, 145th overall pick of the 1947 NFL draft by my Chicago Bears. He'd later be approached by George Papa Bear Hallis and was forced to choose between wrestling and football. Papa Bear had a similar situation with Nagurski, a former Bear that was also dabbled in the world of wrestling. So he didn't want to deal with that again. So what he decided to do was give Verne an ultimatum. And Verne deciding to go with the better paying job at the time, which was, of course, Wrestling. The NFL wasn't paying dick back then. Wasn't paying dick. Remember, this is 1947, so he chose wrestling. He made that fateful choice and chose wrestling. And thank God that he did. This guy was a champion everywhere he went. He was a champion promoter. He was a champion wrestler. He was a champion trainer. Everything he did touched to gold. Verne Gagne was simply excellent before excellence was cool. It's sad to see him go. Even after a long and amazing life like he had, it is quite sad when a man like this leaves the planet. The world is clearly lesser now because of him. And people say, oh, he's just a wrestler. No, he was a man. Why am I a fan of Verne Gagne? Because he was a man. Gordie Howe, he's a man. Ted Williams was a man. And quite honestly, guys, the era of the man is dying out. We're a dying breed. Dinosaurs. Now you have to be effeminate. Now you have to cow down to others. And you have to hide your manliness. It's not acceptable to be full-on man. Well, guess what? Verne Gagne was unapologetically man. Let's talk about some of his accomplishments. By the way, I will be taking your calls. If you want to call in on Skype, go ahead and do so. David Vancura, DavidVancura. Call in. I will take your calls, and we'll talk about Verne Gagne, talk about other stuff. There are some other things I want to talk about. We're going to get into the King of the Ring. Before we do that, I want to go through a few of Verne's many accomplishments. In amateur wrestling, he was Amateur Athletic Union Northwestern AAU champion in 1942. National AAU champion in 48 and 49. Big Ten Conference champion, 44, 47, and 48. Minnesota High School League state champion, 1943. National Collegiate Athletic Association NCAA champion, 48 and 49. Olympic Games member of the 48 Olympic freestyle wrestling team. And the professional wrestling. I'm going backwards because that's the way Wikipedia gave me these. In professional wrestling, in 2006, he won his final award, the Lou Thez Award by the Cauliflower Alley Club. He was he was the IWA International Pro Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. NWA Chicago United States Heavyweight Champion. Two-time. NWA World Tag Team Champions. One time with Edward Carpenter. NWA Minnesota Wrestling and Boxing Club American Association. He won the AWA World Heavyweight Championship 10 times. Tag Team Championship 4 times. NWA Tag Team Champion, the Minneapolis version, 4 different times as well, with Bronco Nagurski, a former Bear. World Heavyweight Champion 5 times in the Omaha territory. NWA Tri-State. He was a Junior World Champion. Omaha, Nebraska. He won the World Heavyweight Champion in their territory. He won the Stanley Weston Award from Pro Wrestling Illustrated in 1986. He was PWI's ranked 158th of all time and the best single wrestler in 2003. He hit WWE's Hall of Fame in 2004. The Robbinsdale High School Athletic Class Hall of Fame inaugural class in 2013. NWA Texas Heavyweight Champion 2 times. Tag Team Champion in the same territory 1 time. WCW Hall of Fame Class of 93. WCW Heavyweight Champion. It made every Hall of Fame you could possibly think of. Tokyo's Match of the Year all over the place. But what he's really going to be remembered for, I think his legacy that still continues today, is because of the people that he has had a hand in training. About 93 wrestlers, okay, including some of the all-time greats. He had a hand in training all of these men. His son, Greg Gagne, Ric Flair, Gene Anderson, Ole Anderson, Dick the Bruiser, Lars Anderson, Jim Brunzeel, Ricky Steamboat, Kurt Hennig, Bob Backlund, the Iron Sheik, Black Jack Mulligan, Scott Norton. Yes, I say that name with a little bit of reference. I like Scott Norton, and you can fuck off if you don't. Jimmy Valiant, Baron von Reschke, Buddy Rose, Bill Irwin, Bob Brown, Tony Helmy, and just so many more. He trained the who's who's of wrestling. He was all man. You will be missed. You will be missed. And it's quite sad that this world is now without you. Godspeed, Verne Gagne. Thank you for everything you gave to the industry. Thank you for everything that you did for professional wrestling. And your legacy will live on forever. If you have any thoughts about Verne Gagne, which unfortunately I'm sure most of you do not, and I'm not saying that as in an accusatory, oh, you should know better type of tone, because unfortunately most people don't know who Verne Gagne was now. And it's sad. But if you want a wrestling history lesson, go look up Verne Gagne, because he did it. He did it all. Let's go ahead and take a call. Edward Crowley, you are live with Dead on Dave. What's going on, bud?
I'm pretty good, dude. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, turn your volume down on the computer, dipshit.
I will, dude. No worries. There we go.
What's going on, bud? What you got?
I just want to say that was some very worthy words for a very worthy man you said there, mate.
Yeah, I actually stumbled over a lot of it, and I feel kind of bad.
It doesn't matter. Emotion, Dave.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Verne Gagne, and I know losing him was like losing Ernie Banks for me when Ernie Banks died. Mr. Cub, you know.
Well, I mean, the way you described the guy, I mean, this guy just sounded like he was non-stop. Do you know what I mean? Like he had a vision from a very early age to go and do what he wanted to do, and he achieved it. And it's just kind of, I don't know, it kind of rang true for me. It's kind of where I'm at in life right now. I'm at that crossroads where it's kind of like, it's time to fucking man up and start doing shit. And yeah, so it resonated with me, Dave. So I just want to say thanks for that.
Hey, it's no problem, man. And this dude was unapologetically man. I think that's the highest compliment I can give him. And it's simply dying. You can't be that way no more, you know?
True. We live in a very different age, but hey, it's up to the individual to kind of make that shit happen, you know? And,
do me a little favor. Go ahead and turn your gain down on your mic just a little bit. Yeah, you're a little high.
Okay, is that better? I'm still a bit distant from it now, so.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
All right. I know you want to talk about the King of the Ring, and that's totally fine. We can go ahead and get to that. For those of you who do not know, the King of the Ring has returned, which is amazing because it is one of my all-time favorite events. I love King of the Ring. It's absolutely incredible, and it did return last night on Raw. So what we can do is I'm going to go ahead and talk about the matches from last night.
Yes.
What's going to happen tonight, and then we can go from there. Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great.
I'll keep you on for a little bit unless somebody else wants to kick Crowley off. It's King of the Mountain tonight, boys, today. You want to kick Crowley's ass off here, go ahead and call in. I'll take your calls, and we'll get Crowley out of here nice and quick.
You fucking try.
All right, so last night there were 4 qualifying matches, first-round matches, if you want to call them. And I thought they were all good. I thought all 4 matches were pretty damn good. So let's go ahead and get into them. Dolph Ziggler and Bad News Barrett, which I thought was a really good match up until when Sheamus got involved and made Ziggler lose his shit because he reminded him that the fact that Ziggler kissed Sheamus' ass the night before. Ziggler seemed genuinely pissed off. He seemed to have an edge about him after it that we usually don't see, and then he would later come out and we'd see a more aggressive side of Dolph Ziggler. I think this is
well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd be pretty pissed off if some ginger Irish cunt made me kiss his ass.
Well, he won the match, too. Ziggler actually won the match, and friggin' Sheamus was supposed to kiss his ass.
Well, he's a naughty boy.
Yeah, Sheamus is a bad boy. But Barrett and Ziggler had a good match. It was solid. A lot of the matches last night kind of got forgotten on Raw. I think wrestling was in a weird place last night because, once again, American City was burning. I think people were disconnected with it. I know I was distracted quite a bit.
What was going on, Dave?
The Baltimore riots, buddy.
Ah, shit, man. They need to calm that shit
It's
down.
unbelievable, and it affects me quite a bit because I don't like to say this like I'm all high and mighty, but I joined the military. I spent 10 years in the Army. I love my country. Absolutely. I know my country has problems, but every country does.
Yes.
And
Yes.
to see our citizens doing idiotic, pointless things like burn a fucking city to the ground just drives me insane. And it's just, I don't know. It took away a lot for me. I was very distracted. But rewatching it, just to see the wrestling work. A lot of the promos were really bad last night, and it kind of took away from the overall vibe of Raw, I felt. But the matches were almost all solid. They were all good matches. And Ziggler and Barrett were one of them. Very good, solid, like you would expect from these two. They're pros. And then eventually Sheamus would get involved, and Barrett hits the bullhammer and moves on. So Wade Barrett moves on to the next round, and he'll be facing the shocker of the first round. We had R-Truth versus Stardust in a short but entertaining match. Two absolutely unhinged individuals. And what was kind of cool all night throughout the matches, they were doing like the old school wrestling stuff where you would, as the wrestlers are coming down, a little box popped up and the wrestler would talk about what it would mean to be the king of the ring. And it was hilarious because everybody had weird things. Like R-Truth said the first thing he would do is make a proclamation that all spiders must be eradicated.
Make a crown for little Jimmy.
It was great. I loved it. I'm getting rid of all the spiders. All the spiders are gone. I love it. I love it. It was great. I love R-Truth. Absolutely love this guy. He'll never get pushed, but I love this guy. I think he's 46 now or something. So
looking good for it.
He beat Stardust, and I was not expecting that to happen.
Wow.
Stardust seems to have lost any semblance of a push that he once had.
Yeah,
and honestly, I don't know why.
Yeah, he had. I mean, that feud he had with his. I mean, where the fuck's Goldust?
They cut
man?
it. They cut that feud right. They cut the testicles off that feud so
fucking
early.
Pisses me off when they do that. It really does.
I didn't understand it. I still don't. The fact is, Stardust gets amazing reactions. The Cody chants are still there. I love the fact that Stardust reacts the way he does, like he's got two personalities, like he's completely schizophrenic. I love that. I love what Stardust has done, and it's unfortunate that his push has come to an end. So R-Truth advances and will take on Wade Barrett in round 2 tonight. The rest of the King of the Ring will air in its entirety live on the network, so that's pretty cool. And that should be the first match that happens.
So what stage are we at with the tournament then? I mean, is it going to be like a pay-per-view tournament?
No, what happened was last night we had first round, and then tonight, live on the network, we have the rest of the tournament. So second round, semifinals and finals. Tonight.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So there'll be 3 matches, and it will be like, it's like a standalone mini pay-per-view in a lot of ways. It's a special. It's the King of the Ring special, and we're going to get 3 matches. So it's pretty cool.
Are they going to take it seriously like they've done in the past, do you think? Or is this going to be, I mean,
no,
I've got some thoughts on it. But
it seems like they are taking it quite seriously. And the fact that it's getting the spot of what main event usually has on the network, I think it does show that they are taking it a little more seriously. And there is some prestige. And the guys that were involved in this. I mean, this is basically everybody who's not in the title picture of any of the major titles or the main event picture itself is in this. These are the 8.
Is Reigns in it?
No, he's not, because he's in the main event picture now. He's
of course, yeah, good.
He won the right. Well, he was voted in the right last night with Randy Orton to be in a triple threat match with Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship at Payback. So we're gonna have a triple threat between Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
voted by you, the WWE Network.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean, it's better than seeing Orton and Rollins again, so I'll take it. Or Rollins and Reigns by himself. So, I mean, it should be okay. It should be entertaining. Okay. The other 2 matches were both really solid. Sheamus and Dean Ambrose, man, that was the next match. They had a great match right up into the point where Dolph Ziggler ran down and just waffled Sheamus, thus costing Dean Ambrose the victory. That sends Sheamus into the next round. Dean Ambrose reacted absolutely wonderful to it. But they continue, even when they give Dean Ambrose losses like this, they continue to protect him in a lot of ways. And the funny thing is, Dean Ambrose won his first pay-per-view match since September of 2013 at Extreme Rules. Can you believe that?
That is unbelievable.
That's unbelievable. His first singles match victory since 2013. Unbelievable.
But quite clever, considering he still continued being quite over, and when you consider he hasn't had a win for that long at the pay-per-view singles, that's... I don't know whether to congratulate that. I'll be annoyed at it.
You know what? The funny thing is, I think it's quite an accomplishment, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And that's why they continue to do it, because they figured that Dean Ambrose is bulletproof. You know, he's
the Undertaker.
In a lot of ways, he is. Well, Undertaker, remember, back in the day, Taker had he didn't lose at all ever. You know? So, real quick in the comment section, Never Fold, never saw him before. He's in there. What time is the tournament tonight? I believe it's either 7 or 8 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Sean Cusack. Never Fold also says, "Sub Dave, love your channel. Rest in peace, Verne." Thank you very, very much, Never Fold. I appreciate that. That's awesome. We love the work here. We love doing shows and everything, and we also will miss Verne Gagne. The final match of the first round was the match of the night, and it's becoming quite the status quo here. If Adrian Neville is in a match, it is the match of the night, and this was no exception. In fact, it might have been his best overall performance yet in a WWE ring. Not NXT ring, but a WWE ring. Him and Luke Harper. A match that you wouldn't expect to be great because of the size discrepancy, but holy shit. First off, I want to give Luke Harper a lot of credit. Harper can wrestle and go with anybody. Mm-hmm. I hope they can figure out what to do with this man, because he is too good to be at the lower middle card. He's too good. They got to find him a gimmick that's going to work properly. I mean, I don't know if this whole weird Walking Dead thing is really going to take him anywhere, but that he needs something, because he's too good. He is one of the best big men I have seen in the past 15 years. He's unbelievably talented.
I think it depends with him, because as soon as you say like good worker, big man in the ring, I always just automatically go to Bam Bam Bigelow for that kind of thing. I know that they're not the same, but kind of in that, wow, you look at him, you don't expect him to be such a good worker, but he is. But when I sort of think of a gimmick you could give him, I would say, a bit of a random kind of strange talker type guy. But then you've already got Bray for that.
I think you can just put him in leather chaps, so some biker
Gold
pants.
Dust.
Biker pants and leather chaps and a jean jacket, and just let him be a fucking just a biker guy or something. He doesn't need a very elaborate gimmick, because he's scary looking as it is.
He's not doing a lot of mic work though. I mean,
he doesn't need to.
Does he not though? I mean, to be in a sort of, like you say, upper mid card main event type status, you're gonna have to have the mic.
I think
at some point, not all the time, but sometimes.
Yeah. Look, that's why we created managers. Get this guy a good manager to be his mouthpiece. Jesus Christ, he would be Bobby Heenan's wet dream if Heenan was managing in today's world. This is the type of guy that Heenan would manage.
I can imagine Harvey Whippleman, actually.
Yeah, you know what? Harvey would be a good manager for him, too. That's true. Well, he was not solo in this match. Neville, the man that gravity forgot, was absolutely fantastic yet again.
This guy is going over like hotcakes right now. He is so good. I mean, if he can prove himself in the ring with all these different types of... I mean, look at the sheer variety they put him in with already. Yes. And he's proven himself in every single one of them.
Every single one of them. Any spot. He's just unbelievably talented.
I think this tournament will probably be one that he's going to go over him, but he won't win it, but he'll gain all the fucking respect he needs.
I got him winning the thing right now, and I'll tell you why.
Really, I hope so. I really do want him to win, but I just think it's too early just to have him come in all of a sudden and then win King of the Ring. Well, it's like you're setting him up for a bit of a fall.
I would agree with you, but the fact that they've put him in with the biggest guys in the company already and had him lose but really have good showings kind of tells me that they're really high on this guy. And the fact that he is absolutely wowing everybody, I think they're going to go ahead and give him this win. But I'll tell you why as soon as we're done breaking down this match. Neville, what I want to say about him is I've never seen a high flyer with the control that he has. I mean, he is pinpoint accurate. He did kind of miss the red arrow a little bit last night, but he also hit the most amazing moonsault I may have ever seen in my life. With Luke Harper, who, remember, is a very big man, takes up a lot of real estate on the outside by the ring apron, he does a springboard, not off the middle rope, off a springboard off the top rope, and hit one of the highest friggin' angled moonsaults I've ever seen. And it was...
I'm going to be back in a minute, Dave. I've got to do something, but I'll be back.
Sounds good, bud.
Okay.
So, yeah, Neville absolutely crushed this moonsault, and it was fantastic to watch. And just the match kept going, and there was a lot of drama in the match. The back and forth, the near falls. It was an absolutely fantastic match, and Neville gets the victory. So the matches for tonight is Wade Barrett, bad news. Barrett, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. And R-Truth. There's a possibility R-Truth can go over in this match. I do feel they could pull the okey doke and have him win because it would be quite a dark horse type thing. However, I think Barrett goes over. I think Barrett wins because that sets up the main event with somebody that he already has a rivalry with. So I got Wade Barrett beating R-Truth in his match, and then Sheamus and Neville. Now, some logic points to Sheamus winning and ultimately winning the entire King of the Ring. However, Sheamus versus Barrett in the finals doesn't really work because they've been allies, and Sheamus is really going after the smaller dudes, who, by the way, he's facing one in this round. Also, him and Truth doesn't really work because it's almost a given that Sheamus wins unless they want to pull the okey doke and have Truth win the entire King of the Ring tournament, which is a possibility because he is an aging veteran. They did the same thing with William Regal a few years ago. I believe it was the last King of the Ring. They had William Regal win, and it meant absolutely nothing. It did nothing. So they could do that again, but I don't think so because it didn't accomplish anything. So Sheamus and Neville, which I already said, is a matchup between Sheamus the bully and the undersized Neville. Look for Dolph Ziggler to get involved because they are setting up another match between Sheamus and Ziggler at Payback. So Ziggler is going to get involved, and this time probably not costing Neville the match like he did Ambrose, just distracting Sheamus and allowing Neville to get the advantage and win that match. So then you set up a match that we've already seen, and there's a rivalry already in place between Bad News Barrett and Mr. Neville for the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. You can go either way here. Barrett, they're so high on because they love Barrett and he's going to continue to do good things. But I think the best thing to do is to capitalize on the popularity of Neville right now. Capitalize on it. Go for it. I think you have to go ahead and hit him hard now. He's just too talented and he's too over with the crowd. Give him the King of the Ring and let him run with it. Let's see what happens from here. So I got the man that gravity forgot, Adrian Neville, going over Wade Barrett in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. As long as they don't have Neville talk because he speaks a fucking language I've never heard before. Yes, it's English, but try to prove that because you can't understand a word the guy says. I guess he's from Newcastle, and that's basically how he sounds. Can't understand a word this guy ever says, but Jesus, is he talented. I think right now, even with the limited amount that we've seen Neville, for me, he's the best high flyer in the history of wrestling. Yes, better than Mysterio. Yes, I know. Oh, but he's better than Mysterio. Speaking of high flyers, a comment that happened last night during the King of the Ring qualifying match drew a lot of ire from the wrestling community. And it shouldn't be surprised that the walking goof that is Mr. Friggin' Booker T is the one responsible. Booker T and JBL were talking about the Neville Harper match, and JBL said something to Booker T after he made a comment that Neville would be the first high-flying King of the Ring winner. JBL commented that Owen was a high flyer, but not like Neville. And to that, Booker T said, well, Owen didn't defy gravity.
Oh my God. Shit, Booker, no.
Yes, he did.
We're coming for you.
Well, yeah. Look, I love Booker T sometimes, but this would be hilarious if it was on purpose. Like you could see in the 90s, Jerry Lawler making a joke like this. Making a joke like this. You could see that. And if it was planned, it would be hilarious. But because we know that Booker T is a walking moron goof who can't think, it's just sad.
It's easy enough to make those mistakes sometimes. I'm not going to have too much of a go at him, but it's funny.
He does it all the time. He does it all the
know.
time. We had a huge botch on Naomi last night, and I understand you're supposed to protect some people that you want to get over, and I get that. But she botched an inside cradle, one of the worst inside cradles I've ever seen in my life. And instead of just, going, good win by Naomi, friggin' Booker says, look at this flawless technique by Naomi. And I'm just like, are you serious? Really?
No, it's not.
Really? It was crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Fucker.
Yeah. So he's caught a lot of hell about it, and he went on Twitter and apologized that I would never say anything to disrespect the legacy of Owen Hart. If I offended anyone, I apologize. Well, okay. Look, I hate that if I did offend it. Obviously, you fucking offended people, Book. They're all saying I'm offended. So I hate that cop. If I offend, shut up with that. Just apologize.
Well, I love Owen. I wasn't offended by that.
Yeah, but a lot of people were. Because a lot of people are sensitive.
Well,
look, it doesn't matter if they should or should not have been offended by the comment. The fact is, they were.
Yeah.
And it's obvious that Booker T made a mistake. Look, all you had to do was, I'm a mumble-mouthed idiot. I don't think about everything that I say sometimes. You've heard me do this before. I'll do it again. I apologize and move the fuck on. That's it. But to be like, if I offended anybody, I apologize. No, I hate that. It's a cop-out, and it's bullshit, and it drives me insane.
Just to say, really messed up. I didn't mean anything by it. I'm sorry, guys.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to apologize on your terms. You don't have to do that.
He was probably saying it whilst he was wearing his fucking shitty suit, and he had to feel like he was a lawyer or something. All he had to do was be honest and from the heart and go, I fucked up. Sorry, guys.
Booker has made so many faux pas. I mean, it's just like all he does, he's a walking gag reel.
But that's why we love him in a way.
I guess so. I wish he would not be on commentary. I can tell you that. And he's he's weird. He's in the same weird category as JBL, where
I fucking hate JBL.
They're supposed to be like the heel commentary, but sometimes they're not. But sometimes they are. But they're both doing it at the same time, and it's just weird. I like JBL actually. I'm actually a fan of his. I think I think when he's not being prodded to say things that Vince is screaming at him, I think he's really clever. I've been a big fan of his podcast for years. For over a decade, I've listened to this guy, his pod, or I used to. I don't anymore. I just don't like his overselling of shit. It's stupid. It's campy. Come on, Michael. But look at that, Michael. But is that
look at Roman Reigns has proved himself to be the best wrestler? And fuck off, JBL. Are you kidding me?
Is that any worse than what a maneuver? McMahon. It's
I fucking hated McMahon in commentary too.
Oh, are you serious?
What's it? Oh, he's got it. Oh, no, he hasn't got it. What's it? Oh, no. That's a fuck off.
Oh, my God.
Every single time someone went for a pin.
Oh, Vince was so great on commentary.
Oh, I hated
miss
him.
Vince.
He sucked.
He worked well with everybody, too. That's why I liked him so much.
I thought him and Heenan were good, but
him and Jesse Ventura were good. Him and Macho Man were good. Him and Piper were good.
That's true.
Kurt Hennig and him were fantastic.
Macho as well, yeah.
Everybody. He worked well with everybody because he was just that weird guy who knew a lot of the maneuvers, but he would just talking this over.
Well, he was the straight man. You needed like a Macho Man or a Jesse next to him.
He was like the straight man, but he was the overselling straight man.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Shawn Michaels coming down from the heavens. Oh, look at that. What a ride.
Hey, you know that Bret Hart? You know his dad?
Oh, God.
He's an old man. He wears shitty loafers. Well, I'm not so sure about that, Bobby, but anyway.
Oh, God. I remember there was a match with Bret Hart and his dad was sitting outside, and Heenan one time they showed him, and he looked like he was asleep, and Heenan just screamed, "Wake up! Wake up!" And it just killed me. Somebody wake him up. It was, my God.
Fucking hell, please, someone hire the next Bobby Heenan.
Oh, God, we need to find him. Wherever he is, we need to find him.
Just someone with some personality. All we've got is three blind guys who don't want to offend anyone at the moment.
Well, there's some good guys down in NXT. I really do feel the answer is Renee Young. I do. At least not for the comedic purpose, but because I feel she can bring a balance because she can do just about everything at the booth. I do feel she is the answer at some point.
But we need someone sarcastic and who's genuinely funny, man.
Corey Graves.
Joe Cronin for fucking commentary.
Oh, God. He has no filter.
Good.
Yes, but he'll get fired in 2 seconds. Like
Joe
Cronin will open it. You know, I love Joe Cronin. He's one of my favorite people on the planet. I mean that not only from a podcasting perspective, but as a friend. He's one of my absolute favorite people. But he's going to open his mouth at a commentary booth, and within 30 seconds, he's going to be escorted out by the fucking police because he can't filter.
I think he could do it.
No, he'll tell you this himself. I can just see it.
I want it though. I want it so badly.
Yeah, but within the first 30 seconds, he'll throw out 3 cunts and maybe a faggot, and that's it. Show's over. Show's over. Because the first thing that irritates him, or the first thing that insults his intelligence in the ring, like, what the fuck is this shit?
There was that guy who, I think it was a King of the Ring as well, actually, who did the commentary, and every 5 seconds he was like, "How much does that guy weigh?"
He won King of the Ring?
No, he was a guy who was commentating on King of the Ring one year.
Oh,
I think it might have been 94, 95, and he just kept asking the most stupid questions.
Probably Adam Lee. Probably Mike Adam
Lee. I think he was a baseball dude or something.
Oh, yeah, I think you're definitely talking about Mike Adam Lee, though. One of the worst on-screen people in the history of anything.
Oh, but it's so entertaining.
Oh, he was terrible. He was awful. It's funny. So you missed some of the ending of the talk of the King of the Ring. So if there's anything you want to talk about, I was talking about why I think Neville is going to win, because of the fact that it just makes the most sense. Sheamus is he's already in a feud with Ziggler, and they're gonna have a match at Payback to settle their score. Neville and Bad News Barrett have already been in a couple of matches, including that classic match they had at Extreme Rules. So they already have this feud built in. So you have those two already go at it, and you just capitalize on what Neville has done, and let him just capitalize on it, man. Give him the King of the Ring crown. It's not a title. Give him the crown. See what he does with it.
Well, for me, I mean, especially when you look at the early King of the Rings, now, much like the IC belt, for me, King of the Ring, at least it should, like the IC belt, represent the workers' competition.
True.
Like, you look at the previous winners, you look at the Owens, the Bretts, Steve Austin.
Yes.
These guys were the best workers in the company.
Yeah, but at
the time it wasn't literally just trying to further a feud. It was about, this guy's fucking good. The crowd wanted to win. And so, yes, I agree with you in the sense that, Neville should fucking win this because he is the best fucking worker.
Well, it's not just about, look, that's debatable because, I mean, over the course of their careers, you can kind of give Wade Barrett a little bit more of a nod. But, look, I'm in agreement with you. I think the most exciting performer and the most over guy in this tournament right now is Neville. And that's what the King of the Ring has also represented in the past. It's been that guy who is on the rise. I mean, obviously most famous of that is Stone Cold Steve Austin, who with the King of the Ring win in 96.
Yeah.
That was his mark of arrival. We got 316 out of that. We got that incredible feud with Jake the Snake Roberts out of that. We got all kinds of things from that tournament. And I'm not sure if Neville is going to be that same type of charismatic juggernaut, but he doesn't have to be because he's so captivating. And he's
exactly.
So
I mean, if you can, it's quite funny when it's so obvious that had this been anyone else they tried to push in the same way they've done with Neville, they'd be getting booed as fuck. Like, I mean, look at what they tried to do with Reigns, and look what happened.
Well, yeah,
he got booed like hell for a big push. Now Neville's getting that push, and no one's booing this guy.
But that's a terrible comparison because Reigns sucks compared to Neville.
Well, yes, but that's the point I'm making, is because people cheer at this kind of push for a guy that they know is really fucking good.
Yeah, you have to.
Whereas
be good.
No one really knows that Reigns is any good at all. Not everyone thinks that. So that's why he gets booed. That's what I'm kind of comparing and saying.
Yeah, well, they're also different types of wrestlers, and I think their roles are going to be ultimately different within the WWE. And that's been my only defense of Reigns this entire time, is the fact that I agree the guy is not overly good at anything. However, the role that they want him to fill, which is the John Cena role, he's perfect for that. He's perfect for that. So let him fill it. That's fine. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be a 15-time champion like Cena was. It doesn't mean that. It just means that he's going to be the guy that does the Cena things that Cena has done when Cena's gone. And I would rather them do it with a guy who doesn't have an amazing abundance of talent like Reigns than use somebody else who could be used in a much better capacity, like a Neville, who's going to have the top match on any card that he is on until Hideo Itami, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, all of these guys come up, and then they're all going to be tearing the house down, and we're going to be in a true wrestling boom, and I can't wait.
Can you just imagine how hyped a crowd is going to be for a Neville match at WrestleMania?
Oh, my God.
Fuck me.
A Neville match at this year's SummerSlam, especially if he is King Neville. And by giving him King Neville, you could automatically put him in the Intercontinental title picture, which is also helped by the fact that Daniel Bryan is once again out. So it's just a matter of time before Daniel Bryan gives up this title. And when he does, a guy like Neville is absolutely perfect because not only is he fantastic in the ring, he's also that same underdog appearance like Daniel Bryan is. So it's a perfect segue. It's a perfect transition.
But important as well, especially since you mentioned Bryan, to make sure Neville's given his rest too, you know?
Absolutely.
Because look what this guy does in the fucking ring. He can't go like that 365 days a year for 3 years in a row. He'll do something that'll injure himself.
Fair enough. That's potentially true. But also, like Bryan, they both have a lot of experience when they came into the WWE. Neville's been doing this for a long time. And I think the advantage that he has over Bryan, and I'm not saying that Bryan is not a good athlete. That's not what I'm saying.
Yes, that's it. That's the one.
But Neville is a world-class athlete.
That is exactly
Look at this man's
right.
body. This dude is just a rolling ball of muscle. He knows how to take care of himself. And it's not even the muscles that he has that makes me think that. It's the way he's able to control his body.
This guy is built for go.
Yes. And Daniel Bryan looks... He's not a superior athletic type of guy. He's a good athlete. He's a very good athlete, and he's a fantastic performer. But because his body isn't the same type of structure as Neville, he's more prone to injuries. And unfortunately, he's getting older, and these injuries are not going to heal quicker with age.
No. I mean, Bryan is a craftsman. He is good at his craft, is what he is. That's what I think of when I think of Bryan. He is just a craftsman.
Even though I think it's so poncy when he calls himself an artist. I mean, it drives me nuts.
Yeah. I prefer craft.
Yeah. Because that's not as narcissistic, I guess.
No. It just shows someone who's worked really hard at being good at what it is that they do. So, that's respect. But like you say, yes, that's exactly what I was going to say before that. Neville is first and foremost an athlete, and that's what he is.
This guy, he's got unbelievable gymnast skills, which he incorporates in the ring probably better than anyone I've ever seen. When other people, especially divas, when they do their little flips into the corner and do their back elbow, like Medusa used to do and other people used to do, it always looked hokey to me. It didn't look like it really belonged. When Neville flips out of danger, it looks like it belongs. It looks like it's part of the narrative. It's just so entertaining. Everything this guy does just exudes awesomeness. I love this guy. I do.
It's amazing how quick. I mean, just how over this guy is. I mean, it's a testament to so many things, but especially NXT in itself. And the good work that they've done. That a guy like Neville can just come straight on the main roster, and everyone just wants him to be the champion instantly.
Yeah, it's a testament to who he is and what he's accomplished. No doubt.
So can I ask you, Dave, when was it for you, did you realise that the King of the Ring was just something special? When did it solidify for you that, right, this is one of my favourite tournaments?
Well, the Austin one's the easy answer. I think that's the easy answer. Absolutely loved that moment because it transcended what wrestling was at the time. And you knew that you were seeing something new in the sport, you were seeing something that hasn't been done, and that was really cool.
Well, I remember for me, especially during the early 90s, so much of it was really hokey with Doink and all these sorts of characters. I mean, I remember when I saw that tournament that Brett won in '93, and the sheer quality of his 3 matches at that, and that was like, yeah, actually, this is actually wrestling, not all that stupid shit that's been going on. What I'm seeing now between Bret Hart and Mr. Fucking Perfect, that's what I want to see all the fucking time.
Let me get this right. Your favorite wrestling moment happens to be a Bret Hart moment? No.
Shock and horror.
I don't believe it. I refuse to think that that's true.
You have no evidence to go on for that.
Right. 2000 I really enjoyed. That was the one Kurt Angle one. I thought that was a really cool one.
Again, but look at the names we're listing now of these winners. Do you know what I mean?
A quick correction. Earlier I did say I thought that William Regal was the last winner of the King of the Ring. I just confirmed that was not the case. It was Sheamus who was the last winner. That makes me feel even more confident that Sheamus will not win it again.
Good. Oh, Sheamus is not a King of the Ring winner.
You know what's something I've always enjoyed about the King of the Ring? And you know who my favorite wrestler is of all time? Probably is the reason why you and I do clash, because you're a Bret Hart
IRS.
guy. You're a Bret Hart guy, and I'm an HBK guy. But of all the accomplishments that Shawn has had, he never won King of the Ring.
That's true. Yeah,
never won it.
But it's if you think about it, at that time, Shawn was going through a lot of those things, dropping the belts and shit like that, because of this and that. So it was just unfortunate that it fell during that time when Shawn was just a bit confused over what the fuck he wanted to do, really, I think.
Yeah. For me, to answer your question a little bit better, too, I think when I look back historically at the winners and the tournaments of King of the Ring, I think 87, Macho Man winning the King of the Ring, because it created a new character. It was kind of the first time, Harley Race did the King Harley Race thing, but nobody did the things that Savage did when he became the Macho King. He was different from that moment on.
Yeah, exactly.
He became a different entity. It was so wonderful to watch.
Well, the thing is, because, again, like you say, you listen to all these wrestlers, and these are guys that have got to be so good that they can wrestle 3 matches on a night, and each one of them has to be good. And, Macho Man could pull that off. Bret could pull it off. Shawn could have pulled that off.
Absolutely.
Kurt, Owen, these were wrestlers that they were one of the few that could have pulled off such a thing. So, and now we're talking about Neville. Yeah, he is one of the few I think could pull it off.
Well, just for fun, let's go ahead and look at all the winners real quick and talk about them just quickly. 1985, the first ever, Don Morocco.
Don Morocco, ledge.
And by the way, when you look at this list, every time that I give you a Hall of Famer, take a drink. By the way, you're going to get drunk really fucking fast. Harley Race winning it in 86, one of the greatest of all time, Harley Race. Another guy who, when he dies, just like Verne Gagne, people are going to remember just how great Harley Race was. It's just like, fuck. And people do not think about the legacy and legend that Harley Race is,
There's plenty of that guy on the network, so get watching, because this guy was fucking good, man.
Very true. 87, Randy Savage. 88, Ted DiBiase, which I'm sure there was some kind of shenanigans in how he won it, because I'm sure he paid someone off.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man. 89, a guy that they wanted to push so hard, and he was over, but he never got super over. He did with the crowd, but he never got the push everyone thought he was going to. Tito Santana.
Tito, right?
Yeah, Tito Santana. Then 93, of course, which was Mr. Bret Hart. He also won it did he win it in 91 as well?
No, but someone did in 91. Yeah, there was one in 91. I don't know who won it.
I think it was Bret Hart. Because,
really?
Yeah, because the way that they have this listed, they got 91 and 93. They got Bret Hart.
Fair enough.
Weird. Yeah, but I don't know. That I can neither confirm nor deny that. I'm sure somebody, if anybody is actually watching, goes ahead and will correct us. Oh, Black Mom in the comment section. Eddie Guerrero, the best you fucks.
Okay.
I don't know.
Thank you, Black Mamba, for that.
Thanks, Mamba. Jesus. Owen Hart in 94. Mabel in 95, of course.
Called Mabel, yeah, fuck.
Big Vis. Big Daddy V. 96, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You talk about your Psalms. You talk about your... wow, God. What was it? What was the 316? Not Austin. You talk about your Luke 316? No, that's not right.
John 316.
John 3, that's right. You talk about your John 316, Austin 316. Mean I just whipped your ass. Yeah, that was great. 97, the man you hate, Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
I don't hate him.
You hate him. You can't stand
I don't hate him.
Just admit it. You'll feel better.
I really don't. I really don't hate him.
Okay, you hater.
I just think he's a cocksucker.
Yeah, I just think that he's a detestable human being. That's all. I just want him to die in a fiery car wreck. That's all.
Doesn't mean I hate him.
I don't hate him.
Hate's a strong word.
Hate's a strong word, but, cocksucker, that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. I call everyone a cocksucker.
At 98, the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock.
Oh, I loved him.
99, probably the absolute most useless win of all time, Billy Gunn.
Oh, fuck off.
Billy Gunn. Look, I love Billy Gunn. I thought he was a great wrestler, but it did nothing for him. He did nothing with it. He won that, and then he was in a short feud with The Rock, and then Billy Gunn died. It's just, I'm sorry. He went to Billy and Chuck, and they almost got married in the ring. Yee! He became the one, Billy Gunn, Mr. S. Ah, God, stop it, Billy Gunn. Kurt Angle, 2000. Edge in 2001.
Good.
The Beast, Brock Lesnar in 2002. Then it went away until 2006, where the most annoying victor of all time, Booker T, not because of him, but because for months we had to hear him brought to the ring like this. All hail King Booker! And she'd literally say it for at least 4 minutes. And I wanted to kill myself. He actually won it on my birthday in 2006, May 21st. That's right. Dead on Dave's birthday is coming up. If you want to give him a present, go ahead and hit me up on Twitter and give me gifts because I deserve it. 32. I'm old and I'm going to die soon, I'm sure. 2008, William Regal won. And William Regal is the source that I'm using to give R-Truth any chance of winning. Because basically what they did was, in one of the worst King of the Ring tournaments of all time in 2008, William Regal won, and they gave it to him as kind of like a thank you for your career. We're not going to give you a world title, but we'll give you the King of the Ring. I'm thinking that there's an outside chance that they could do the same thing with R-Truth. So it would not surprise me if he wins.
I don't know. I think you officially kill the tournament if you give it to R-Truth.
I don't know if you kill it because I think if you do something with it after, if you let him go goofy again, I don't think you kill it.
But I want it to be serious. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd like it to be a serious guy.
Yeah, I get that. But don't put it past the WWE to do one of these thank you type things, as they've done it before. So,
well, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I don't want to see stuff with R-Truth. I do, but not at the expense of the King of the Ring.
I agree. Because if they're bringing it back, and it's the first time in 5 years, I do want it to be a big thing, and I want to see it yearly on the network. Yeah. So, I think the winner has to be a big name, and I think Neville's the perfect guy.
Yeah.
And finally, in 2010, the final winner was Sheamus.
So. Meh.
Yeah, meh. And I really hope he doesn't win it again.
No,
really
he won't.
I mean, there it is. There's the rundown of each and every single King of the Ring winner. So I ask you, Ed Crowley, what is your moments from the King of the Ring that you remember most fondly?
Weirdly enough, I'd completely forgotten this character. I decided to watch through the 93 one again, and I've forgotten the character persona of Mr. Hughes.
Oh, God.
Do you remember this guy?
I remember Mr. Hughes. Yes, I did.
Fucking hell! This guy was like a mixture between like a black version of the Big Boss Man, IRS, and Slick.
Well, yeah, basically what they did was somebody in creative watched Blues Brothers and said, stick a black man in that suit. And that's basically
put some shades on him.
Yeah.
And have him feud with an Undertaker.
Basically.
But he wasn't too bad. But yeah, I just think I remember this was the first time that I think although he was heel at this point, I remember this turning around my concept of liking good guys over bad guys. And when I saw Razor in that tournament, I was kind of like, fuck me, I like this guy. Yeah. I don't care if he's a heel. This guy's good in the ring.
Yes, he was.
And same with Bigelow as well.
Yeah, Bigelow had some good performances as well.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see the interview in which Scott Hall recently called Jericho a giant puss?
No.
Hysterical.
Good. That time someone did.
Because Jericho still complains about his time in WCW, and since Scott Hall was kind of one of the guys who were running the show behind the scenes in a lot of ways, him, and not as much as Nash, of course, because Lord knows Nash had a hell of a lot of pull, especially towards the end. Jericho still complains, even though he's a Hall of Famer.
Exactly. What the fuck has this guy got to complain about? He needs to shut the fuck up.
Seriously, and Scott Hall called him on it, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, good.
Scott Hall calls him a pussy, and I loved it. And I like Jericho.
This guy has probably got more to fucking bitch and moan about than anyone, Scott Hall. I mean, look at the life. This is the career, the life this guy's had. And
right?
He's just happy to be working and doing what he's doing.
Just
and Jericho's
happy to be
achieved it all.
alive. Yeah, just happy to be alive.
Yeah.
You know, just glad to be kicking. And Jericho,
if I'd achieved half of what Jericho did, you wouldn't find me complaining about shit.
And Jericho, who is back in the good graces of WWE, sucking the dick of Vince McMahon, and probably going to be the host of Tough Enough, which will, basically be calling it Tough Enough. And
Tough Enough is Jericho.
Seriously, tough is Jericho. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Yeah, baby.
He is in danger of losing a lot of respect.
Yeah, well, his podcast hasn't helped. Look, he gets great guests, but he just lobs softball question after. It's not good. Stone Cold goes after people on his podcast, but you know what? Stone Cold is also kind of looking bad lately because he refuses to acknowledge that there's obviously some bad blood between him and the WWE right now. WWE gets 3 of his shirts removed from WrestlingTees.com. And Stone Cold goes on his podcast like, no, man, there ain't no heat between me and WWE. They just had their issues where they wanted to, make more money off my name, and that's okay because I'm Stone Cold. And, because he wants to protect the possibility of this is what it is. If nobody wants to acknowledge this, that's fine. But why he's not bearing WWE, I will tell you right now. It's because he wants to work WrestleMania 32 in Texas. He might not say it out loud. He might not admit it, but I'm telling you, that's where his goal is, because this is not the Stone Cold that we've known from the past. In the past, Stone Cold Steve Austin, if he gets wronged by anybody, he will talk about it, especially on his show. And I guarantee he's boiling over. He wants to say things about what's really going on with the WWE and him. He wants to talk about it. He wants to run Vince down, but he can't because he has his eyes set on WrestleMania 32.
Well, I wouldn't say it's because he can't, and I respect him for taking that stance in the sense that, yes, well, I want to see him at WrestleMania 32, so if it takes him shutting his mouth for a while, then he's doing it for the greater good. So I'm happy with that.
Sure, no, but that's why I'm saying he can't say anything, because if he does, there's not enough time to repair that bridge before WrestleMania 32.
I'd rephrase it as he won't say anything.
No, I think he's handcuffed. He can't. He's handcuffed. He knows if his end game is to work WrestleMania 32, then he can't say anything.
I'd say shouldn't or won't. I wouldn't say can't, because I don't like to think of him in that sense.
But it's you can word it. You can use any mental gymnastics that you want to make him sound better. But the reality is he can't, and he knows it. And he's playing the game just like anybody else. Stone Cold's not above playing that game, and I know that makes you mad because you don't want to think that a guy like Stone Cold will do it. But guess what? In this business, in the wrestling industry, everybody does it. If they want to be successful.
We're disagreeing, Dave. We're disagreeing.
Well, yeah, because you're wrong. We're not disagreeing. You're just wrong. This is one of the few times where I will make a straight out fucking stance. You're wrong here. If you're unwilling to recognize it, you're saying the same thing I am, but you don't want to use the same word because it
now, there's a difference between can't and won't.
No,
can't is a decision that's out of your hands.
You're absolutely
won't means that you're doing it on principle.
And this if he wants to work WrestleMania 32, this decision is out of his hands. He cannot say what he wants to say, or he loses his WrestleMania 32 possibility.
No.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It can't be any more simple.
It's the principle. Stone Cold, man, he's a man of principle, and he won't say anything. That's why.
Because of the consequences involved. It's not won't. Because he realized, look, you're saying he won't, but you're failing to acknowledge the fact that if he does, he is going to not be working at WrestleMania. And he understands that.
I'm just
wait, hold on. And he understands that, and because he understands that, it's no longer a choice. It's a must that he cannot do it because he understands. It's not a choice.
It's a choice, Dave. He can choose not to do this.
No, you're overlooking the thing here. If he makes that choice, hold on, goddammit. If he makes that choice, then then we're talking about a different argument. Because his end game would not be working WrestleMania 32 because he's giving that up. Listen to what I'm saying one more time. I know you got a thick fucking skull, but listen to it one more time. If his end game is wrestling WrestleMania 32, I'm going to say it one more time slowly. If his end game is wrestling WrestleMania 32, then he cannot say what he wants to say. Other than that, you're right. If his end game is not wrestling WrestleMania 32, then yes, he can say whatever he wants because it doesn't matter. The consequences don't matter. But if the most important thing to him is wrestling WrestleMania 32 or showing up in any capacity, then he does not have a choice here. He cannot say anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch you in the friggin' stomach.
Try.
I'll fly to your little hobbit hole. I'll fly to Middle Earth, motherfucker. Think I won't fly to Middle Earth? I'll find you in the Shire and I'll pluck you out of your little hobbit hole and
I'm not there no more.
Oh, did you move to the big city, mate?
No, I moved to another kind of Shire, really, actually. Somewhere further down the country. Just equally as beautiful, though.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So, look, buddy, you got anything else?
No, that's it.
I'm going to wrap this thing up. We did an hour.
Okay.
Had you on longer than I'd like because, always, Ed Crowley, the consummate agitator. No, I love having you on. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, dude.
Kill that fucking dog.
Sorry.
Kill that dog. It's ruining my show. Kill that dog. Okay, Crowley's mad at me now as I said kill the dog. I think he's gone now. Crowley, you there?
I am here. I'm just telling the dogs to shut up really loudly.
Shut up, you mug.
Really
I love
little
dogs.
Shits.
I actually love dogs, but
a leaf goes by and they fucking bark like mad.
what are they? Neighbors' dogs?
No, our dogs.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's Dog Corner with Ed Crowley.
Yeah.
Look,
Dissing your dog.
I appreciate everybody checking us out on this impromptu live event. I think what we're going to go ahead and do, I already talked, well, you know what? I'm going to break down Raw real quick. I'm going to give you my review on Raw because I didn't do a Raw thing. Raw was okay. It was decent. It was hard to watch because of everything that was going on in the world at the time. A lot of sports. Also, a lot of tragedy going on in Baltimore. But if you go back and watch it again, yes, the promos sucked. The wrestling was pretty solid. I give it a 6.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it overall mostly. There were some problems. I'm not happy with the main event stuff. I wish Seth Rollins would stop acting like a flaming pussy. But other than that, I'm happy with a lot of the way things are progressing going into a week pay-per-view like Payback. We'll see.
It seems weird since he had this big thing with standing up to Brock Lesnar. Now he's acting like a big wimp. It doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense. It drives me crazy. Yes, because he stood up to Brock Lesnar, and now he's tattling on Kane.
Just whatever.
Disgust me. We're going to go ahead and give anybody one more chance to call in on Skype right now. We'll take your calls before we get out of here. At David Vancura on Skype. David Vancura, DavidVancura. If you want to call and ask any questions, now is the time before we get out of here. Never fold in the chat. Why are people being retards in Baltimore? Well, basically, long story short, another person has died within police custody. And
race issue.
No reason as to why. Nobody knows why. He was in police custody and then he turns up dead. Yes, it was a black man, and people have lost their minds over it. So what happened was protesters decided 2 days ago to go to a Baltimore Orioles game, of all places, and protest because basically they understand that baseball attracts white people. And so they go there, and some white people get stabbed, and then it goes absolutely apeshit after that. Now the entire city's burning. We got people going crazy, burning down people's houses, looting, which is the stupidest thing to do to try and protest. And then through it all on CNN, there was one man standing on a car with a boombox dancing to Michael Jackson's Beat It, hoping to get everybody to stop with the violence. If you're going to go...
Beat It's going to do it.
It's going to do it. It's Mike. It's Mike.
Yeah, but it's Beat It. It's a violent-y sort of song.
Well, it's anti-violence, actually. It's Mike drawing to the futility of violence.
Yeah, but the music doesn't know. The music's too like, come on, you gotta stay tough. That makes me want to fight.
No, what makes me want to
Heal the world, make it a better place is what you want to play if you want to calm the shit down with people. Do you know what I mean?
We are the world.
We are the children. Fuck off!
Yeah. You know, it'd be hilarious if some random white guy just came out there with like Megadeth, or Pantera or something. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
No, it wouldn't be.
I think we've gone ahead and we've buried this show nice and proper.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Raw, I give it about a 6.5. I thought it was good. I'm really excited about the King of the Ring tonight on the network at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you check that out. I think Joe Cronin's going to go live after the event. I do not know if I'm going to be there because I am exhausted. So, other than that, Mr. Crowley, you got anything you would like to plug?
No, I'm fine.
Besides your anus?
Well, I'll let you do that for me.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate everybody in the chat, like both of you, and all 5 of you for watching this impromptu show. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Get this thing around. I think there was a lot of good stuff that we talked about during the show. And we will see you tomorrow right here on Dead on Dave Productions for the first ever NFL recap show. We're going to talk about the NFL draft. We're going to talk about everything that's going on in the world of the NFL and football. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, and that will be a new Wednesday staple right here on Dead on Dave Productions, adding more sports to the already growing litany of topics that are going on the channel. So thank you guys very much for supporting as always, and we will see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Peace!
Is that it?
I'm playing an outro music.
Sorry.